Diary, hello. It is March 2024. You are looking at the top of an HP Pavillion 15-AU 116NA, which I am looked up, and it appears to be a 2016 laptop. So that makes it about 8 years old. And the interesting thing to me is that it's from an age when laptops could be serviced without doing very much with some standard tools. I believe I've just got a pair of Phillips watchmaker screwdrivers here. I'm hoping to look inside and see what can be updated or replaced. I think someone's already had a little go because one of the screws is missing, and it might even have an SSD in it already. But this system is one of those classic systems I've checked on eBay and Amazon, you can replace the battery, for example, for £30. Plus you could take the back cover off, and I'm very much assuming that the memory and the hard drive are also easily interchangeable. We shall see. Short. Long. Okay, I've taken the screws out, but it's not coming out. So I think the only thing I can think of is that there's a hole here, which might contain a screw, and there might be something underneath this strip. So I'm going to go with the strip first. I'm going to look and see if there's anything underneath the strip. So I've pulled and it just won't come off. So I've taken off Mr. Strip. There's some glue there. I need to put this back again, so let's just be careful with that. Okie dokie. And pull that off. Is there a screw? There's something there. Something there. Yeah, there's no screw. Okay, well, that's a learning point. Okay, the current plan is to use a pry tool like this, and I've got most of the edge of the case off, but it's come off at the front, and it doesn't seem to have come off at the back. So I'm wondering if there's a screw at the back. So we're gonna have a quick little look, shall we? So the front part came off quite easily. And I'm gonna have a little look. I wonder if they've hidden a screw here. Let's just have a little look, see what's that rubber. It's very nicely done rubber, by the way. Very industrially done. Is there a screw? Ah, not only is there a screw, it just came straight out. Okay, it's a bit weird. It wasn't really holding very much then. There was one screw there. Okay. All right, it still won't flopping come off. It seems to be attached at this edge. I'm wondering whether this edge here with this pry tool is stopping it. I haven't. It's completely off on all of these edges. It's just this edge. It feels like it's screwed almost, and we're going to do some more prying, shall we? Okay, it is off. The case is off. So, where are we? There was a screw here underneath the rubber. There was no screw here, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other screws, which one was missing. Now, there was a lot of prying needed at the hinge end. Now, to my amazement and great surprise, given that this is supposed to be a 2016 laptop, which I can't quite believe, but that's what the manufacturing date says. Can we see that? So this is the inside of this Pavillion 15 series laptop. It does look like there's an SSD in here already. I'm very surprised. So there's some sort of chassis that's been fitted, and an NVMe drive is sitting here. So that is very, very impressive. I am super impressed. You can see there's a space for the CD drive here. We've got the battery M2L5, and we've already got 16 gigabytes of memory, which is a lot. So yeah, an impressive machine. Maybe it was a 2016 machine which had a later revision which came with an SSD. Okay, let's keep going. So you've seen the disassembly. I wanted to just go through the whole process as to what happens from that point onwards. Well, at this point the machine was still usable. I switched on the machine and found out there was actually a virus was loaded, which is one of the reasons why the machine was given to me in the first place. I managed to remove the virus, which turned out to be a rogue Chrome browser extension. And with that virus removed, I was able to start Microsoft OneDrive. And I managed to put into the OneDrive area all the pictures and music files that the user had, and they also had a number of other cloud services. So for example, they had Dropbox, and they also had iCloud, and they had an old version of OneDrive. So I created directories inside the new OneDrive called from.old OneDrive, from.iCloud, from.dropbox, and I put all the data files into that new OneDrive area. Now that means to say that there's about 140, 150 gigabytes of information which I saved up into OneDrive. So then the machine's powered off, then I replaced the M2 drive with a new drive, and the idea was to completely start again. So before I switched off, I'd also made a list from the control panel of all the installed applications. Baby, very, very, very sexy, but I'm afraid no one's going to listen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I also made a list of all the applications that they might want to reinstall. So the plan is I bought a new Windows 11 key on the interweb. And then you can go to Microsoft and you can freely download any Windows 10 or Windows 11 ISO. So I did that, and then use the Rufus tool to turn the ISO. So the cat is wanting to get into this box. Baby, go in the box. So then you use the Rufus tool, R-U-F-U-S. So take the ISO and push it onto a key. At this point, you've got a laptop with a bare new M2 drive in it. You've got a USB key which Rufus has made bootable and contains the Windows 11 operating system. And when you've written the operating system to the key using Rufus, it gives you a number of options. And those options are to ignore things like the TPM requirement, ignore the any of the checking that Windows 11 would normally use. And also, and I made a mistake, to create a local user ID. Now at the time I did not think anything of this, but it subsequently becomes clear I couldn't unlocal user ID the machine. So when you use Rufus to write the ISO to the disk, it comes up with a menu and you can select various things for Windows 11 to stop it checking, to stop Windows 11 checking. And so the machine can you can install Windows 11 onto a system that Microsoft might not want you to. And in this case, this machine, although it was 6 or 7 years old, passed all the tests apart from the CPU test, but it had a dual-core CPU and was perfectly strong enough to run Windows 11. Anyway, so at this point you put the USB key in, you boot from the USB key, and you install Windows 11, and typing in the key that I purchased for the full license key for Windows 11 Professional. So that worked fine, but like I said, the only thing that went slightly wrong was that I used a local user ID because it asked to create a local user ID. Rufus twiddled it to do that. And then I couldn't, at a later point, when I wanted to give them a Microsoft login, I couldn't do it. So my tip is, if you use Rufus to make the bootable USB key, say no to local user ID, because I firmly believe you might as well have a Microsoft user ID. So I think that's where we are. Windows 11 was installed. You then install OneDrive, and then you can completely restore all their data files. So 140, 150 gigabyte download later, they had everything back. Then I installed Microsoft Office 365 because they're a subscriber, and that installed their Office, and then basically they're ready to go. Just a few small things like a browser install, Earth and View for image manipulation.
So yeah, I think that concludes it, and the machine's now working absolutely fine with Windows 11 Professional. So it just goes to show, in my opinion, that these older systems are from an age when things were user serviceable. And although this contained a relatively old CPU, it runs Windows 11. I cannot tell the difference in speed between Windows 11 on this system, just doing standard everyday tasks, and my brand spanking new Samsung Galaxy Book 2 with an i7, I think it's 12th generation CPU. I swear I cannot tell the difference in speed. It's absolutely astonishing. So there you have it, a decent old machine, and refurbed very nicely, and if you follow the same instructions you can put your Windows 11 onto that machine. Thanks for watching.